I've got to figure out what's killing this computer. Any of you super techies guys have any idea what the hell's going on here? We crashed hard, guys. We crashed hard. So here's what's happening, guys. Randomly, sometimes when the computer is idle overnight, but this is the 4th time it's happened in about a week, is randomly I will get the blue screen of death and the frowny face, and it'll crash and it'll load up into the BIOS, and it'll say there's no boot drive and there's no way to get out of the BIOS. If I press the power button on the computer, it reboots just fine. And then it works for a while. And everything I've read so far is pointing at it being a bad hard drive, which is crazy because it's a top-of-the-line brand new hard drive, but I don't know, man. Yeah, it's an SSD. It's an M2 SSD hard drive. It's 4 terabyte. I don't have the box for it anymore, but Samsung. That's almost everything I'm reading is saying defective drive. Do I have more than one drive? No, I've got an external HDD. It's an SSD. Yeah, I'm gonna get a second drive, and then just try to clone them and then swap it out and see if the problem goes away. If the problem doesn't go away, it could point to a motherboard socket issue, I'm afraid. But yeah, I think I just need to order another hard drive before this starts to escalate to the point where I wind up losing all my data, which would be rough. I forget what we were talking about. I think it was something centering around, we just have to see, we gotta let the chefs cook, but I think like Ilanov, you can build Kairon, you can build a Mort couple of different ways. You can go super giga tanky and just let them exist and not really do damage and just be there to mess people up, or we can go high-end damage and see if we can blow things up with them. Yeah, I mean, imagine this built on Holy Sacrifice if this was Mort. You finally kill him and he comes back with 30% health. 30% health is still like 14,000 HP. It's still gonna be hard to kill him. God forbid haste or haste is on the board and gives them a barrier on top of that. What CPU do I have? It's AMD. It's a Ryzen 7 7960. It's like the top of the line CPU that's not the new 9000 series. Is ML Rowana good against Harsetti defense teams? She can be. You can run Zio Rowana and reset everybody's skills. And then when Harsetti takes a turn, she may or may not have her S3, and it makes it easy to run the rest over. Yeah, I think so. But you'll have to run her in conjunction with Zio, otherwise she's not going to do anything. The power adapter, I wouldn't think would make it crash to the BIOS and I mean, the fact that when it crashes to the BIOS, it cannot see any boot drives. That, I think, is a big indicator. I saw one thing saying that I should change the boot order to, like, ping a CD drive or USB drive first, because it doesn't like going straight into, the SSDs in the boot order, so I don't know. I read a couple of tricks on it. I'll fart around with it later and figure something out. Appreciate all you guys who stuck around through the glitch, though. Hopefully I get this resolved soon, because what a headache. You got 60 ML coins right now. What characters are worth spending coins on? Spending Moonlight. What you want to do, if there's a unit that's in the ML coin shop right now that you are desperate for, right? You, who's in there? Made Chloe, ML Ken, and somebody else, I think. Bologna. Is it Bologna? No, I don't think it's Bologna. I thought she was last time. Now, let me just look. Oh, it is Bologna. Look at that shit. Oh, and Twisted Idol on Charon. Okay. So, in one day, these are going to change, right? So you got these three right here. And if you pop over to Stove, I think in roughly 1.5 days, it's going to change to Maid Chloe, Charon, and who's the other one? Was it Little Queen Charlotte? That was it. So those are your 6 options. So look at those 6 and decide, do you really, really want any of those? And if you do, get them. If you don't really, really want them, maybe wait for the next rotation, see if somebody's in there you do want. We are pushing them to add more than just 3 to the shop. Now, as for the usefulness, Charon is more of a niche for fun unit. He's really good in normal arena, and that's about it. He is getting a buff, but if you're picking him up in anticipation of the buff being really good for him, you're gambling. People are on the fence. Most people think the buff isn't going to be enough to make him meta in RTA. They all agree it'll make him better, but is it enough to really make him better? Charon also takes some of the best gear in the game to make usable, primarily because he's an attack scaling unit. He does damage based on attack, but he's an HP scaling barrier. And that's kind of anti-synergy, right? You want high health to get bigger barriers because that's his only source of survivability, but if you go high health and you ignore attack, then he doesn't do any damage. So some people are thinking about running him without crit chance, crit damage, or attack. You just run his barriers super, super high to give him some survivability, and then you rely on this big bomb attack to do 20k damage to or 15k damage to the enemy, and that's what's going to kill him. So I would not recommend picking this guy up unless you just really, really want him, or you have good gear, or you know what you're doing. Rowana, I would only recommend picking up if you have Zeo. If you don't have Zeo, her value's cut in half. She's still really good, but Zeo is kind of where she shines. Now, with any opener, she's really, really good. Being able to turn off and reset people's skills, you can build her on super high damage, or you can build her on super high effectiveness. 2 very viable builds, or you can try to do, you know, a jack of all trades and do a little bit of effectiveness and a little bit of damage. Nice thing about Rowan is she doesn't take high-end gear. She's very easy to build, but the units that she plays off of are hard to build. Openers are very hard to build. They take really high speed. So for a new player, not so sure I would pick her up, but I think she's worthwhile if you're trying to get into RTA or if you've picked up a Zeo. Bologna's used a little less often. She absolutely murders Landy, and that's kind of her only real niche right now. She's very good in some PvE stuff as well. You'll find her really nice on some full auto teams for Nightmare Raid. A very strong unit. The biggest issue with Bologna is she is one of the hardest units in the game to build. She's very demanding on what gear she needs, and the gear she uses is very weird, right? How often do you find high attack, high crit damage pieces that don't have crit chance on them, but also have HP and defense? It's nice because she typically doesn't steal gear from other units, but she wants gear that, a lot of gear you'd normally just throw away. This has got HP, defense, and crit damage on it, but there's no crit chance, there's no speed, there's no attack. Throwing this away, and it would have been perfect for her. So she's an investment hero where oftentimes people get her, and then they find they can only gear a mediocre one, and then over time they start fishing and farming for the specific pieces of gear to make her great. But I love the goddess. You can do amazing things with her. She hits like a truck. And once you get her built where you want her built, fan-freaking-tastic. And she also has a variety of builds. You can build her on lifesteal. You can build her on speed. You can build her on destruction. I have her built on a counter set. That's worked the best for me. I think pound-for-pound destruction set's a little bit better. But counter has saved my life a few times. But you see what I mean about the gear, right? It's all incredibly high-end gear, all 90 to 100 gear score gear, And none of this gear has any crit chance on it because she always crits. So you need high attack, and you need high damage, and you need high HP and defense. Speed's optional but helpful. And you need all of that without really wasting any stats in crit. And that's a weird ask. So, anyway. Lovely unit. I love playing Bellona. But she is a later game unit for RTA for high-end usage. But she is used on some of my full auto teams, so there's that. Maid Chloe is a nice safety net. People poo-poo on Maid Chloe. She's coming in a couple of days. Maid Chloe is an AoE cleanse that replaces with attack buff, brings dead units back to life. Song name? Hang on here. It's a good song. Let's just start the song over because it's freaking great. Here you go. There's a video with it. Enjoy that. That's called Extras. It's Elfelt's theme. So ML Ken is hard to build, but really good at early RTA and a nice counter pick in late RTA. Just is a tough one to build. And Little Queen Charlotte is kind of in the shitter right now. Most people don't build Little Queen Charlotte because most of what LQC does, Savior Auden just kind of does it better. The biggest differences are Little Queen Charlotte has more self-sustained, not more self-sustained, has a little bit more damage, and her S3, when it nukes something, it has Extinction on it. And she doesn't have Extinction, but she grants gold barriers to the whole team, whereas LQC just has damage reduction. So, slightly different versions of the same unit. But it's a free 3-star versus an ML5. I really think they need to give LQC a little something more. But this game hyper overvalues Extinction. So anytime you see the word Extinction on a unit, it kind of means that unit's going to be going to not likely get buffs because they just think LQC, or they think Extinction is so powerful that just by having it, the unit's automatically amazing. LQC is making a bit of a comeback with slow Harsetti. Interesting. Doesn't LQC have splash damage in some way too? Yes, into Dark. He does. Yeah, there are ever so slight differences that make her situationally better. I'm just explaining why most people don't, why most people don't build her as often, because it's not, you know, one's just situationally better and you can usually use one where the other's used. Is this gonna work? Surely this will work. Surely that's not a giga fast Bellion, right? Of course not. Get him, Kayron. Hydrate, Mr. Hydrate. Does Noble Oath's artifact stats reverse when your HP condition gets better? Yes. Yes, Noble Oath, I think Noble Oath doesn't do anything until you're below 60 or 70% health, and then it starts to scale up fast, and I think you have to be below 20% health to get the maximum benefit out of it. Somebody had actually, like, figured out the mechanics of it. It's a nice backup artifact for Karena. It was really good on Fighter Maya, but it's just doesn't quite do enough. Do you think SSB could work in RTA with a tanky lifesteal build? Stupid buttons. Why, yes. Yes, I do. In fact, that's exactly how I build her and use her. The problem is that there are just so many units out there that kind of counter her right now that she's a little harder to pick, but I have seen her work in niche drafts where you get her in there and she can win a fight, but her kit's just a little outdated and replaced. Yeah, SSB and Low Crescent Bologna both seem really good into Harsetti. Yeah, SSB plus Rowana seems to really give Harsetti fits. Yep. Relics of the past. Remember when you just couldn't play the game with her? She doesn't do anything weird like guarantee strip or anything, right? Does she have any kind of strip in her kit that could give my Kayron fits? Try it and see what happens. Am I gonna rip my streak? Nope. Kayron too good. Can't use Kayron into this or into either of these. How about this one? How about this one we just absolutely nuke? You're still built, right? Good boy. Show us a fight? Yeah, sure. I'll run Kayron Team Live for you. Miki on defense is weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird. My Ludwig is level 50? No, he's not. My Ludwig's level 50, guys. It's entirely possible I might have put Fenris on Grace of Growth to do some Katie's fights and forgot to put it back on Ludwig. It's okay. This is fine. Everything's fine, right? Just level 50, unawakened. I don't want you to counter. God damn it! That was so close! It was so close! Ludwig can stay immortal. You notice my Ludwig is wearing this golden shield, right? And you strip from bottom to top, left to right. So to strip this golden shield, they have to strip skill null, barrier, attack buff, destruction buff, and then they can strip the gold shield. And because he's on time matter, when I use the S2, it resets his skill so that when his turn shows up, he's ready to S2 again, and he gets the gold shield back again. So it lets him stick around, so to speak, for really freaking long fights. ML Ludwig's a lot more satisfying, right? You get, what do you call it? You get, the bigger, you know, the big D damages out of him, but you don't, if he doesn't kill, it feels really bad. And see, still got the gold shield. Even if she lived, my Ludwig's not dying for another turn. So, yeah. Strip goes bottom to top, left to right. So strip first here would be skill and all. Strip second would be this. Strip third would be this. For units that say strip 1 or 2 buffs, if I got hit with something that stripped 2 buffs and it worked, I would lose these 2 skills but still keep my gold shield. Do we know what the next rift element is? It'll be water, because we had fire first and we have earth now. So it could always be light or dark, but that would be unusual. Everybody's expecting it to be a water rift. Maybe. Probably. Has anyone had great success with Red Charon in Higher Arena? I have. When people try to cleave me, I pick Red Charon and they either ban it or they lose to my Charon. But I've got a really, really well-built Fire Charon, so that's pretty much his only place, right, is counter cleave. When is the new Rift coming out? Last season Rift was 6 months. And then there was about a 2-month gap between old Rift and new Rift starting. And I think this one has been out for about 5 months. So that would mean we probably have at least another 4 to 6 weeks of Rift left, and then another 4 to 6 weeks of pre-season between Rift. But all this is just assuming, right? The first Rift was practically a beta test. So who knows? When this Rift ends, the next one might start immediately up again. I know Smilegate's cooking a lot of PvE stuff behind, under the hood for us. They're trying to find things for us to do other than RTA in the game. They're trying to find ways to make gear and charms more accessible. They've listened to a lot of complaints, a lot of feedback, and they're trying to push that forward. But let me fix my freaking Ludwig. Hang on here. Get the hell off my team, Fenris. What the hell's wrong with you? Where is Ludwig? I might use a decked selector on this guy. We'll have to see. There we go. Can I show you my Red Charon? Sure. There you go. Stretch. Okay. Oh. Thanks. That was a good one. Can you see my Harseti and Rowana? I am not sold on this Harseti yet, but so far she's working pretty good. But this is my Harset on me. There you go. I'm not running any ER on her. And I think she could use about 30 more effectiveness, but I do like it. And Rowana. There's my Rowana. You asked me to switch hats? Poochie Shop did not predict Galililius. Galililius is bait. And we're going to have a brand new limited unit or a collaboration in the next 6 weeks. It's going to happen. Just wait and see. I really think she needs the ER, man. Even if you've got to drop the attack, you want to be able to have this skill work. It's too nice to not have work. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, Gala's bait. You will spend all that stuff on Gala, and then they're going to turn around, and they're going to hit you with the 1-2 punch, man. You want to know what I think the next collab is? You know what I think it is? I'm a big fan of that coincidences are not something to be trusted. And this is a pretty bold background they've picked here, right? This is a very Street Fighter, Yakuza, I don't know, something's going on with this background. What's the point of this background? If not to make BB a clue that we're getting a collaboration, right? Yeah, right? You guys are seeing it there, right? Hold up now. Yeah, let's think about it. What does this got to do with where in Orbis does anything look like this? Name one place in Orbis that you see anything like this. Not a single damn place. Not in any ML theaters, not in Zero Defect City, nowhere do you have back alley, spray paint graffiti looking barbed wire fence and bridges or friggin' L trains. You don't see any place that looks like this anywhere in Orbis. But I bet you can think of 2 or 3 games we could collab with that look like this. Eh? Maybe. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just a hat talking. Any teams for Rift that doesn't involve Wukong? Let's see. Let's go over here. Let's pull up YouTube, and let's search for TristenWulf Rift no Wukong. Why, yes. Apparently, I do have teams for Rift that don't involve Wukong. So hopefully one of those helps you out. Make sure you pay attention to the level. RC 2 through 7, 21, 8 through 15. Should be able to help you out there. But yeah, I kept staring at that back alley, and I kept thinking, man, where is that place? That doesn't look like anything in this game. And if it doesn't look like anything in the game, it makes me wonder where the game's taking us. But hey, that's just a theory. Don't hate on my tinfoil hat tuna. My tinfoil hat cooks. Also, for those of you who might have missed it, with all the changes that have come recently and everything, check out my latest video. I really need to change the I really need to like edit my other one, but I have updated the selector list. So for those of you who are getting ready to use your selectors and stuff, check it out. It's artifacts and units all rolled in, compressed into a nice little 30-minute tier list. If I don't talk about an artifact or I don't talk about a unit, it's because I don't think you should use a selector on it. If you got everything else on the list, you do you get your niche unit or your niche select. I had somebody say, where's Teiyu? Where's Teiyu's artifact? I'm like, well, I'll tell you where both that unit and that artifact are. That artifact and that unit are not going to be in the results of me using a selector. Unless I have like every freaking unit in the game, right? But yeah, this is basically the artifact tier list, and I just tried to break it into things you need to have, and I tried to, you know, really lay it out like how many of the artifacts you want. So if you're sitting there trying to figure out like how many should I get, you know, how many Secret Art Storm Swords would be good for my account? How many Celestines should I get? How many Unseen Observers? I tried to spell that out a little bit because that was something people ask, is how many dupes should I keep? How many Elbrus should you have? You can never have enough. 4+. And then I And on the unit side, I just talked about these are units that you will want on your account, one way or the other. And then I went into other units that you'll be able to find uses for, but you may not reach for every day. And then some niche use units. And hey, new players, Abigail, crazy good for brand new players. Crazy good. And if you've got all these units, or if there's a unit on this list that you just love and you want to get, then you get that unit. Anyway, link to the new tier list. Check it out if you got any questions. Put them in the comment section. I'll check out those a little bit later. Give me a currency, man. I really need these. I got freaking low buying artifact charms. Am I going to put counter set on Mort? I don't think so. Maybe. I'm back and forth on a lifesteal Mort to make him even more like a lifesteal Mort with damage and on Holy Sack. Feels really crazy good. But I may just build him like I may just straight up build him like my tanky Ilanov. I may just do something like this. And just go full on, he never freaking dies. He's on Holy Sack or 3F, and he's just there for his effects. He's not there to do damage. He's not there to kill. He's just there to stick defense breaks and never go away, like this Ilanov. But I also might decide to build him like this one, where I want to actually put some damage on him. Have to see. It's crazy, crazy the options we have with him. I really like units that have multiple potential builds, and I just got to see what works best with my style of play. Triple HP set on Elbrus. Elbrus is going to add about 12% chance to counter to his kit. But every little bit, right? 32% is better than 20%. Does Ruel get AoE no, it's single target revive, but it's an incredibly powerful single target revive. Destina and Maid are the only AoE, well not, that's not true. Destina, Maid, and Haste are the only AoE revives, and they bring them back with your, and Spirit Eye Celine. But they bring them back with like almost no health, so they're easy to kill again. Ruel brings you back at full health, and she gives you a gold shield, and now with her buffs, she'll be able to be harder to kill, be harder to take her out. Is Ruel going to be actually good now? I think Ruel's going to be incredibly toxic. I think she, for tank down players, turn 2 players, people like Snitchu, people like KHM, they're going to ruin people's days with Ruel. Ruana's an AoE raise buff, which is kind of different. Hey, Varushima, thank you so much for the sub, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping that Prime off here. You could use that Prime on anybody's channel, but you gave it to me, and for that, I thank you. What should we do? Oh, let's finish off Arena before my damn computer crashes again, right? Somebody wanted to see a Kayron team in slow motion, right? Unfortunately, we have no Kayron options here. God, this... None of these are good for me. Hey, Solidus, thank you for gifting the sub, man. To G-Clef. Hey, G-Clef. Welcome, buddy. I didn't see you there. Glad to have you, man. Okay, let's just chew through this. I need a slow-ass anti-Farsetti team, right? Not a lot of counters here, so I don't think I need Rowana. Not sure about Maid on this one. This girl makes me feel like an ML Ken. Whatever happened to Advent? It's just a little overdue. I mean, if you think about how crazy overdue the, So this just dropped. Might finally be a rerun. Yo. What makes you think this might be a rerun? Spell it out for me, G Clef. I'm not understanding what makes us think this could be a rerun. Because I thought Espa had kind of walked away from the anime look, right? I thought they had stopped doing the eye avatars and all that stuff. First ever Espa concept since our collab. Possibly. Stranger things have happened. It is rolling into the 1 year mark, right? Or 2 year mark. 1 year mark? I don't know. It's new models and sprites for their eye version? So they're re-engaging with their eye versions? Because if so, that's very possible. Yeah, 2 years later and she's still heavily used. Crazy. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Possibly back on the menu. I'm trying to decide if I want Bologna here or if I just want Arya to do everything for me. You know who I bet I want here? God King Ken. I'm not familiar with fighting these, so let's just see if this works. I hope I don't lose my streak. Some kind of cyberpunk theme with Espa, maybe, especially with the background in RTA. Don't stun me. Haha, it's a crit Harsetti. This guy's wrecked. They did go all in on the Espa. Yeah, they went in big time. A little attack buff for everybody here. And that's a lot of buffs I got going on over here. How good do we think Cannon Mort is going to be? I think he's going to be crazy good. Ah, screw it. We got to activate Euphine sooner, or activate, we're going to activate Senya sooner or later, right? $8, 9 buffs are max. You can get 9. I think. Either 8 or 9. Bam. Murder Penguin. I love the Murder Penguin. Okay, watch this Euphine get kicked into oblivion here. Man, all of my buffs! All of my nice buffs. I worked so hard to get those buffs. Freaking Dragon Girl. Bye. As long as this doesn't kill anybody. Does this kill? I don't think this kills. Damn it. So close. You notice who died first? That's the biggest problem with Harsetti is in slow versus slow, Harsetti dies faster than she died in the story. Bonk. Aww. Thoughts about this Harsetti? Let me see. So just, you went Giga Bulky, but you actually, instead of giving her 5k more health, you gave her some crit damage. This artifact doesn't do anything with crit damage. Yeah, look, oh, it's freaking injury set. You think you're going to do enough damage to make injury set matter? Remember, Fairy Tail doesn't proc injury set. I don't know. Let me know how it works out. Okay, so we'll do a Kairon fight so you guys can see how it works. Okay, so she does a non-attack skill. This triggers Soul Constellation, making sure that my Shooting Star Hades goes first. She will S2 Kairon since he's the highest attack unit. I've got, and this is kind of important, I've got Elvira's skills turned off. That way, she doesn't go immortal, because when she's immortal and Kairon's immortal, and they're both at 1 HP, she will draw all of the attacks, because the game will say she's got the least number of debuffs, so she's the easiest one to kill. And that means they're not attacking Kairon. So I have her skills turned off so she never procs immortal, but I have her built super tanky, so that she sticks around long enough that she gives me just enough turns to keep Euphine from being a problem, but she doesn't stick around so long that she takes away all of the single target attacks into Kairon. And I just sit here and let Kairon ruin people. The one thing you've got to watch for is really slow, high effectiveness Lunas, units who have enough effectiveness to strip Kairon, units who can reset before he takes a turn, like you never want to take him into Zio and Rowana. And you want to make sure you don't take him into fights where initial early great deal of damage can happen. That would make Hades want to S3 heal instead of S2 for immortality. So it's a lot of conditions, but once you kind of understand the conditions, it's a pretty safe team. It's just slow. This Elena might cause me some problems. We'll have to see. She's slowing down the damage enough that I'm running out of rounds on my immortality. And then she heals. Don't like taking her into Elena, but we'll see. Hopefully it goes okay. DDR plus injury Harsetti? Perhaps. God, kill her and get her. Okay, now finally people will start hitting the right unit. If that's a Holy Sackbellion, we lose this. No, we just plain lose this. We've lost all of our immortality. GG. The Elena slowed it down, man. The Elena slowed it down too much. Rip my streak. sad. So the combination of the really, really, really slow Bellion and the high speed, high HP Elena just kind of ruined me there. Definitely don't want to take her into this girl. Or do we? In this situation? If it's a fast Janua and she's faster than my shooting star, she could go first, push up Janua, and Janua could one-shot my Kairon. Don't want to go there. Don't want to go here. I'll definitely just take so much damage that shooting star Ks will choose to heal somebody instead of doing immortality. This one's kind of dangerous if it's a fast. If he's fast enough that he is going to go ahead of even a Soul Constellation Acades, then he could AoE stun everybody. With the push-up from her, this is a bad option too. Hey, just watched your Fribbles video, loved it. I just have a slight problem with the builds.
I just watched your Fribbles video, loved it. I just had a slight problem with the builds since gear I don't have appears on the optimizer.
Hey, More World, thank you for the sub, buddy. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm tired of refreshing. We're going to kill this one with a slow Kairon team. This is another one I would just quick battle, but we'll show you how this one works. It's going to be weird doing this into that Sylvian, but we'll try it, right? So, I mean, I may as well just burn it to make it extra safe. Now, as long as this isn't a super high effectiveness poly, it should push up my, DJ Basar. Okay, well that pushed up my DJ Basar. As long as this doesn't push him back, we're fine. What's the best country for the most savings in the Huawei app? Right now, it's Turkey. But Japan's a close second. Okay, there's a little bit of a barrier here, so why don't we just take the points where we can get them, right? Pop. And then we heal up. And now what you guys are looking at here is a 212 speed Ran with 200 effectiveness. He's got so damn much effectiveness that even on quick battle in the background, even without the soul burn, I should get a defense break on something and strip most things. And that's all that's important. As long as I had a defense break on one thing. And that's exactly what I got. It's a defense break on one thing. We don't really care about this. Oh, we do kind of care about that. Okay, I lost my nice defense break too. Okay, still have the defense break here, so we can burn this. Blammo. Blammo. Do I cut? I don't think I can survive this hit, even at full health. Oh, wait. I have more immortality than she does. Ha ha. How to cleave with a 200 speed Ran. What Huawei savings? Go back and check earlier in the VOD. It's a lot to go over, but yeah. Maybe I'll turn the VOD into a video. I gotta, like, with authority say, don't ask me for tech support. I'm not sponsored. Not gonna do it. I don't understand why people are running Euphene with Parsetti. It makes no sense. There's so much anti-synergy there. It's so you can't Zeo Rowana? That's silly. Just take a slow team and murder it then. One of the big deals about her is when she goes trauma, her speed boost is so huge that she's able to cycle and get her extra attacks in. But instead, her speed is normalized, she doesn't get the speed boost, so when she goes trauma, she dies to a sneeze and doesn't dish out any damage because she doesn't take turns. When it asks for my phone number, can I use my own even though I don't live in Turkey? Yes, just in the upper right-hand corner, change the country from Turkey to whatever country you live in. You can set the phone number to any country. That doesn't change your region, that just changes the phone number's region. Should I buy ML Rowana from the coin shop? If you want to use her, if you think she will enhance your account, if you have Zeo or really fast openers, I think she's an asset. If you don't have Zeo, and if your speed gear isn't all that, so your openers aren't all that, then I think her value drops considerably. Okay, so that's all the arena to do. Guild stuff is done. Oh, for those of you who ask, yes, you can open 2 separate Book of Memories. And so far we have not found any stage other than Eulogy for a Saint that's got those 5-round fights in them. Do not close out your Book of Memories. Once you do, you can never go back in and do the fights. Go back. You got back-to-back ML5's pull on your alts today? Shit, is it my time? Are the gates open? Shit. So what you're saying is if I click this button and I click this button, I'll get an ML5. Got so goddamn many Abyssal Crowns. I got so many Abyssal Crowns, it's ridiculous. Oh my god. I had 1 plus 21 Abyssal Crown when I started pulling on this banner. 1 plus 21 Abyssal Crown. Let that sink in. Do I use Harsetti often? Nah. She's on my guild, or she's on my arena defense. I think for arena push, she'll be good on defense. And it's been okay. 15%. I can't sneeze at that. Anything that's in the double digits we take, right? Most important thing is I've only taken 118 attacks all week. That's a lot of people are just saying, I don't want to mess with that. I just want to kill things. When I lose to her, it's typically people that are just tanking down and going bruiser against me. Loki, Loki, are you still here? Is this you? Is this you? Because this looks like something you would do to me, Loki. Did you use Kairon against me? Man. Loki shows me the Kairon tech, I bring it to the world, and what's the thanks do I get? People use them against me. Brutal. I wanted to see... I wanted to see them using their eye avatars, though. I wanted them to see them using their anime models. If I saw that, I'd say it's a slam dunk. But if they're not going to be using their anime models, it makes me wonder. It's pretty interesting, though. It definitely is making me wonder. Yeah, I think... Let me see if I can share it. Yeah, there you go. I believe that's the playlist. I have 80 galaxy coins. If you have 80 galaxy coins, you may as well pick one up that you don't have. What's a good artifact for LQC? If you are around for the collaboration, Benny Mars Tachi is really good. Hellcutter is also a really good one. Hellcutter lets you run her stats lower, right? 93 crit chance. Well, I just slap Hellcutter on her, and after 1 or 2 turns, she's up there. I think this was like universally. She gets 4% crit every time somebody takes a turn. Every time somebody takes a turn. So 1 unit goes, that's +4. Then her turn goes, that's another +4. She's already at max crit chance, even if she's the 2nd unit to go. On Hellcutter, I could probably drop her crit down into the 75 to 80 range and be in good shape with her. And it's not just crit chance, but it's also attack is going up by the same amount. So after 4 units take a turn, 3 units take a turn plus hers a 4th unit, that's 16% to crit and 16% to attack. Lets her nuke extra hard. So it's a nice way to get around the stats, but I know a lot of people have been putting her on Tachi to give her an attack buff automatically. So those Espa picks are apparently their eye models. They kind of look different to me. Maybe, though. This weird shoulder thing is bothering the hell out of me. It's making me tilt my head. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I mean, the big thing would be, right, is would they want to re-engage with their old branding to promote their new branding, or would they do a completely new collaboration with new looks and everything? How could this look translate into Epic 7, into an anime look, and would they want that as a way to promote their tour? I think it definitely puts it back on the table, guys, but my gut's telling me that it's just I don't know. I'm not wearing my tinfoil hat, so I can't say for sure. All right, guys. It's 2:30 on a Sunday. I'm going to go do other things now. I've done about all I can do in Epic 7. I'm going to finish out the story, and I'm going to think about putting together this Huawei video and see if it's something that would help you guys out that you really want put up there. So if you have any questions, don't forget to join my Discord. You can DM me directly. And If you join my Discord, there's a room that says Huawei support. Check the pinned messages in there. There's an instructional video on how to set up Huawei and how to get everything up and running in there. It's a little bit dated, but all the information's there step by step. And there's also people in that room who can help answer your questions. Did Smogate change something about extra turns? My Judge Kisei didn't get extra turn behind Light Ludwig's Soulburn. They changed something about the way Judge Kisei works, but the extra turn changes aren't going to happen until the balance patch at the end of the month. I hope we don't get Chrome units. We'll have to see. All right, guys, who's streaming right now? Where can I send you? Let's see. Genazod's doing a subathon. KHM's doing RTA. My buddy Scully is streaming. You guys go where you want to go. I'm going to go visit my buddy Scully. One of the most underrated streamers. I wish he would stream more. Let's all go over and say hi to the Mad Scotsman. He lives over in Shrekland. Everybody say hi to him. And I will catch you guys, I guess, tomorrow morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, guys.